In the golden age of empires, when kingdoms rose and fell like the tides of time, one name stood above all: Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, known to the world as Akbar the Great. Born in blood, raised in war, and remembered in glory, Akbar wasn't just a king. He was a visionary who redefined what it meant to rule. The year was 1542, in the rugged desert fortress of Amarkat, present-day Sindh, Pakistan. A young prince was born to Emperor Humayun and Hamida Banu Begum, a child destined to change history. At the time of his birth, the Mughal Empire was in chaos. His father, Humayun, had been defeated by the Afghan ruler Shah Suri and was wandering in exile. A mother cradled her newborn son under the desert moon, unaware that the cries of that child would one day echo through history as the greatest ruler of the Mughal Empire. Akbar spent his early childhood in exile, far from palaces, thrones, and riches. When his father regained the throne briefly, Akbar was still too young to rule. In 1556, Humayun tragically fell from his library stairs and died. At just 13 years old, Akbar was crowned emperor in a small town called Kalanur, near Punjab. A boy wearing royal robes too large for him stood under a royal canopy, a child emperor facing a fractured empire. Since Akbar was too young to rule, his father's loyal general, Bairam Khan, became his regent and guardian. Together, they faced their first great challenge, the Second Battle of Panipat in 1556. The Afghan ruler Haymu had captured Delhi and declared himself king. But under Bairam Khan's leadership, Akbar's army defeated Haymu, restoring Mughal rule over India. This victory marked the true beginning of Akbar's reign. As Akbar grew older, he began to assert his independence. By 1561, he dismissed Bairam Khan and took control of the empire himself. He was only 18 years old, but his mind was sharper than generals twice his age. Akbar stood over maps of India, his eyes burning with ambition, not to destroy, but to unite. He wasn't satisfied with being just a conqueror. He wanted to build an empire of peace, culture, and unity. Under Akbar's leadership, the Mughal Empire expanded beyond imagination. He conquered Malwa, Gujarat, Bengal, Kashmir, Sindh, Kabul, and even parts of the Deccan Plateau. But what set Akbar apart wasn't just the size of his empire, it was how he ruled it. He believed that a kingdom could not be held together by force, but by the hearts of its people. Instead of crushing his enemies, Akbar sought friendship. He formed powerful alliances with Rajput rulers, marrying Princess Jodhabai of Amber, a Hindu princess whose marriage symbolized peace between Mughals and Rajputs. This act of diplomacy brought centuries of rivalry to an end. Many Rajput kings joined his court and served loyally in his army. Akbar addressed his court, saying, "I do not see Hindus or Muslims in my empire. I see only my subjects." Akbar's rule wasn't about swords, it was about systems. He reorganized the empire with visionary reforms, a centralized administration with efficient provinces, a fair taxation system designed by Raja Todar Mal, a merit-based military where loyalty mattered more than birth, and an intelligence network that kept him aware of every part of his vast empire. He was creating not just a dynasty, but a nation. In an age divided by religion, Akbar stood alone as a beacon of tolerance. He abolished the jizya tax on non-Muslims and invited scholars, priests, and philosophers of all faiths to his court. He built a place called Ibadat Khana, the house of worship, where Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Sikhs, and Jains debated their beliefs freely. Over time, Akbar developed his own philosophy called Din-i-Ilahi, a new faith blending the best principles of all religions. It wasn't meant to replace religions, but to unite hearts under a single truth: humanity. Akbar's court became a galaxy of brilliance. Artists, poets, architects, and musicians flourished under patronage. He built magnificent cities like Fatehpur Sikri, with palaces, mosques, and halls of justice carved from red sandstone. The Buland Darwaza, standing 54 meters tall, symbolized his victory and faith in unity. His court glittered with the famous 9 jewels: Birbal, Tansun, Abul Fazl, Faizi, Raja Man Singh, Todar Mal, Abdul Rahim Khani Kana, Fakir Aziuddin, and Mullah Dupayaza. Music from Tansin filled the palace as Akbar listened, eyes closed, lost in melody. A warrior who loved art more than war. Akbar didn't rule from behind golden walls. He often walked among his people in disguise, listening to their problems. He opened schools, encouraged trade, and built roads connecting distant cities. His justice was legendary. He once said, "A ruler who doesn't listen to his people will rule an empty land." He created a bond between ruler and subject that no sword could ever cut. But even the greatest kings faced storms. Some Orthodox nobles and clerics opposed Akbar's reforms. He faced rebellions from within, including his own son, Prince Selim, who later became Emperor Jahangir. Yet Akbar's wisdom and compassion always prevailed. He forgave Selim, saying, "A father's heart is softer than a throne." As Akbar grew older, his once golden eyes dimmed, but his vision never faded. He continued building, reforming, and dreaming of a united India. In 1605, after nearly 50 years on the throne, Badshah Akbar passed away at Agra Fort, leaving behind an empire that stretched from the Himalayas to the Deccan and a legacy that would echo through time. Even centuries after his death, Akbar remains more than just a figure in history. He is a symbol of vision, courage, and humanity. His empire may have faded, but his ideals live on in the spirit of unity and tolerance that still shapes the Indian subcontinent today. And so, history remembers him not merely as Akbar the Great, but as Akbar, the Emperor of Hearts.